A very good evening and welcome to this Sunday's edition of Newsfirst Weekend, coming to you live from our Newsfirst studios in Colombo. I'm Arundhati Mudarnayaka. Let's start off with a look at the stories making headlines this evening.
Auditor General's report on the procurement of coal to be handed to COPE on Friday. After 5 decades, the Kadwa Canal given life by the government at the 100-day initiative. A land in Polpitiya Kitulgala caves in. A hotel school to be built on a plot of land owned by the Rajapaksas in Matara.
Basil Rajapaksa gatta akkareka idama api rajasantaka karala hotel school ekak daanawai කියන එක මම මේ අවස්ථාවේදී පැහැදිලිවම කියනවා.
A karate tournament held in a school during the advanced level examinations. An Action TV expose.
A religious ceremony to mark the lighting up of the historic Galvihare in Polonnaruwa was held last evening under the auspices of President Maithripala Sirisena.
A number of other religious activities have been organized at the 12 sacred places of worship of the Solos Mastana in line with the event. A CD comprising a song written by Dr. Praneeth Abhayasundara on the beauty of the city of Polonnaruwa and a book were gifted to the President by the chief incumbent of the Solos Mastana, Venerable Venerue Upalitero. It is a known and clear point that this country was ruled in a Buddhist background together with the Buddhist history and the Buddhist culture. The road that is made aware to the world and our country through Buddhism is the road shown by Lord Buddha through the Theravada teachings and examples. Let us make this sacred land a hub where an understanding of Theravada Buddhism is given to Buddhists and others as well. The President also distributed equipment to Pirivenas in the Polonnaruwa district.
While the whole world shifts towards greener, cleaner energy sources, including natural gas, it would appear that a section of Sri Lankan society is adamantly clinging to coal. Against this backdrop, reports have come to light that attempts are afoot to grant the controversial coal tender to the same company.
Coal has been purchased on 5 separate occasions since the Norchole coal-fired power plant was commissioned. On the last purchase, the price agreed on with the supplier Swiss Singapore Pte Limited was $54.40 per metric ton of coal. 1.0647 million metric tons of coal were purchased from the company at a cost of $57.93 million. A total of 1.125 million metric tons of coal had been purchased under the spot tender system introduced during the tenure of Patali Champika Ranawaka as the Minister of Power and Energy. The cost per metric ton in this case was $49.83. The total cost was $56.08 million. The Auditor General's report notes that a sum of $4.88 million could have been saved by the state if coal was purchased at the spot tender price of $49.83 per metric ton instead of at a price of $54.40 as per the agreement with Swiss Singapore Pte Limited. Speaking to News First, Auditor General Gamini Vijayasinghe noted that the report containing the Auditor General's observations on this transaction would be submitted to the Committee on Public Enterprises in Parliament on Friday. Activists allege that plans are afoot in such a backdrop to grant the tender to Swiss Singapore Pte Limited once again.
While the Secretary of the Power and Energy Ministry, Dr. Bhattagoda, has evaded responding to 2 audit queries for more than 7 months with great cunning, last week they reached an agreement with the group that fraudulently secured this tender to resubmit a cabinet paper and provide the tender to the same company once again. If it so happens that the Sri Lankan government is acting to provide this fraudulent tender of the Power and Energy Ministry to the same company once again, then we will receive an assessment of the financial transparency of the good governance regime. They are disregarding the observations of the Auditor General's Department. The Auditor General's Department will submit their observations to COPE on Friday. While that investigation report has not been submitted yet, it is clear that the current government is treading the same path as the former government under the guise of good governance. The Technical Evaluation Committee, the Appeals Committee and the Supreme Court of this country have said that this process is wrong. We do not believe that Cabinet will approve this corrupt deal.
අධිකරණ තීන්දුවත්
While the decision of the Supreme Court and the Technical Evaluation Committee stands, the Ministry of Power and Energy is attempting to give the tender to Swiss Singapore Resources International once again. If the government gives the same company the tender once again, disregarding all criticisms and the decision of the court, then the people do not need any other example to comprehend what is happening now.
Meanwhile, the Sunday Times reported today that an independent committee appointed by the Minister of Power and Energy had found that the minister's initiative to introduce spot tenders for the procurement of coal has resulted in a saving of nearly 1.1 billion rupees. However, only a portion of the country's requirement had been purchased through spot tenders. While many countries around the world are moving away from coal, why does Sri Lanka adamantly cling to the dirty fuel?
We have submitted projects on this matter. If we have visionary progressive leaders, then would they double the tax on electric vehicles? Wouldn't they instead invite a company to manufacture electric cars in Sri Lanka? We do not have such progressive leaders in Sri Lanka. They are not progressive. Neither do they want to progress. Their only purpose is to deceive us. Whenever they open their mouths, all we hear are lies. Professionals have not been deceived. Professionals have said clearly that solar power is a viable alternative.
The 20-year long-term generation expansion plan prepared by the Ceylon Electricity Board has been rejected by the Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka.
The plan had been drawn up by the Ceylon Electricity Board after studying the demand forecast, generation capacity and prices. The plan had been submitted with the signature of the CEB General Manager MC Veerasekara. The base case plan of the long-term generation expansion plan from 2017 to 2036, the demand forecast for 2017 to 2041, and the projected future development of non-conventional renewable energy from 2017 to 2036 had been submitted for the concurrence of the PUCSL. However, the Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka noted in a letter to Veerasekara that the Commission was not in a position to approve the plan in full for 5 reasons. The letter signed by PUCSL Chairman Salia Matthew notes that the CEB has not provided data on their evaluation, that only the base case had been submitted while the least cost scenario is not visible, and that no justification is provided for submitting a new plan instead of the plan for the period 2015 to 2034 on which the Commission's directive was issued and the stakeholder consultation had already been carried out. The Commission adds that the submitted plan is subject to government policy guidelines on which a policy directive is awaited.
Although they go unnoticed, farmers arguably play a pivotal role in Sri Lanka. And one of the key issues farmers of Sri Lanka face is the impossibility of finding a proper source of water to make a good produce. The Gum at the 100-Day Initiative were able to take the forefront in providing a solution to this issue.
Gum at the 100 Days. Day 19.
The sun rose above the village of Khattuduwa in Malimbada Matara with new hopes and expectations. It has been over 50 years since the China Gahabener Canal in the village, which once supplied water to 190 acres of farmland, has been renovated. The neglect brought discomfort to nearly 750 farming families. 2 generations of this village were unable to reap the benefits of this canal. Renovation of the canal commenced today with the assistance of the village locals and the Newsfirst team.
ගොඩක් වෙලාවට අපේ රටේ සිද්ධ වුණේ සංවර්ධනයේ මත ව්‍යාපෘති.
Most often than not, what happened in our country was development where projects were introduced to the village solely for the wishes of the hierarchy, but never involved the people of the village nor identified the problems of the people and were never implemented. But what we did through the Gum at the program was that we identified the issues from the people and got the solutions from the people itself and provided the solutions for those issues. Maybe the elders of this village know how to clean up this canal and get water better than engineers do. News First recognizes the hardships and the sorrow you have within you. That is why News First decided to help in accomplishing the unattended hopes and issues you face. The News First team decided to become the guiding hands. We will not stop from the Gammadda 100-day initiative. Let us be more organized through the Gammadda Savia organizations. Let's get together and embark on a long journey together with the people and the Gammadda Savia.
One of the most significant factors which was noticed in these speeches was the Gammadda Savia. Take up your issues together with the Gammadda Savia and be the strength of Katuangoda and for the surrounding areas as well. Be the strength for all in the village. I feel a sense of happiness today because you started something. I had the expectation in my mind that one day this Gammadda Savia will rise and stand strong.
We constantly address the need for this canal to be renovated to politicians and even the previous government. We addressed this matter to this government as well, but it was given no regard whatsoever. We place our hands together and extend our gratitude to the citizen media network for providing us with a solution to this water crisis.
The Polpitia area in Kitulgala is facing the risk of sinking in. A house located above an excavation tunnel of the Broadland Water Supply Project initiated by the Ceylon Electricity Board in the Ginigathene, Polpitia area caved in on a prior occasion.
I did not have even time to see what was happening. The house sunk before my own eyes.
The threat began to emerge several months ago. No harm was caused any lives in the cave-in as residents were relocated along with 3 months' rent as compensation.
This project was started saying that it would be done below the road, but now as the project continues, they are moving on to where the houses are located. Those responsible for this know what they are doing is wrong. The IGP says that this is an assessment and one which cannot be done quickly. Now what I ask is that how can an assessment be done if the entire area is sinking in? When a house sinks, there is only a crater. So how can assessments be done?
Not a single official has come here yet. The people here are suffering under the burning sun. 3 Mara trees that are over a century old have withered away within close proximity to the World Heritage Site of Sigiriya.
This picture that was captured in the year 1920 is proof of the existence of this tree over a century ago. Even though trees withering away is a common phenomena, villagers are startled by the fact that these 3 trees in particular have withered away when there are other Mara trees in the vicinity. Further suspicions arise since these 3 trees are within the 400-meter radius of the archaeological site of Sigiriya and is in the line of sight of the Sigiriya rock. Carrying out any human activity in this area is prohibited by law. There are 3 Mara trees that are more than a century old within close proximity to the Sigiriya Inn. Our suspicion is that they have destroyed these trees using some chemical, because I am speaking to you amidst a number of similar trees. What is the reason for those trees to wither away and these trees to remain? I urge the authorities to carry out an investigation regarding this. There is no reason whatsoever for these trees to wither away all at once. They have either injected some chemical or have done something else. They have done this because these trees obstruct the view of the Sigiriya rock.
We do not know how this withered away. It happened suddenly. We have trees in our lands as well, but they still remain. They haven't withered away. The question is, how did these trees wither away? The other trees haven't withered away. It is just these 3 trees. We are 100% certain that these trees have been destroyed intentionally.
The self-defense martial art, that is karate, employs sounds in addition to fighting stances and styles. However, at the Ratnavali Girls' School in Gampaha on Tuesday, displays of the self-defense martial art proved to be an aggressor to some who were seeking a quiet environment, as evidenced by a complaint that has been lodged with the Commissioner General of Examinations. The noise from the Karate and Kunte tournament had proved to be a hindrance for candidates sitting for the advanced level examinations at Ratnavali Girls' School, which is also a designated examination centre. If the candidates' parents had not complained, the Sri Lanka Schools Junior Karate Championship would have continued on Wednesday as well. The fact that the tournament was able to continue inside an examination centre until about noon on Tuesday, when the Commissioner General of Examinations directed the Gampaha Zonal Education Director via fax to halt the proceedings, makes it evident that both the Department of Examinations and the Ministry of Education are feeling around in the dark. Incidentally, the tournament was organised with the approval of and under the supervision of the Ministry of Education. One of the patrons of the Sri Lanka Schools Karate Do Association is also incidentally the Director of School Sports. While one would expect that the Director of School Sports should also have awareness of examination timetables, it must also be noted that he had selected this school to host the tournament, while there are 7,500 schools across the island which are not being used as examination centres. The principal of Ratnavali Girls School too has made a serious error by allowing the tournament to continue in spite of being fully aware that her own students are also sitting for their advanced level examinations at this centre. Contestants at the tournament too have been caused a serious inconvenience as a result of the 3-day tournament being suspended after 2 days. Close to 2,000 students representing northern and eastern schools participated at this tournament, paying 700 rupees for one event or 1,500 rupees for 2 events to the Ministry of Education. Will this incident, which proves severe mismanagement in both examinations and sports, be labelled an isolated incident? Secretary to the Ministry of Education, over to you.
On to another one of our headline-making stories. Preparations are underway to establish a hotel school in Madura. Speaking in Madura today, Minister Mangala Samarvira said that a property of Basil Rajapaksa, which is under judiciary action, will be used for this purpose.
රාජපක්ෂ පවුල විතරක් දැනට ගත්ත
The value of the lands owned by the Rajapaksas alone are valued at 3 billion. I can happily say now that we will be seizing this 1-acre property of land in Browns Hill owned by Basil Rajapaksa and build a hotel school for the youth of this district. There is a small tea shop in the address which is noted as the location where Gotabe Rajapaksa allegedly purchased a MiG aircraft. There is no office there which sells MiG aircraft. I would also like to note that on the 19th of this month, the day the government was sworn in, the Sri Lanka Freedom Party and the United National Party will extend its agreement of a unity government to 5 years at a ceremony which will be held at the Jayasuriya Stadium in Mathura.
A mathematical problem has arisen in political circles these days. Politicians are currently puzzling over the correct calculation of the country's population. Now, this is what Southern Provincial Councillor Prasanda Yapapewardana had to say in this regard.
I recently saw someone saying that over 20 million people attended the Padayatra. Now, when you become a parliamentarian, you must speak with a certain sense of responsibility. Then I heard another person saying that this 20 million did not include just people, but the gods in the heavens as well. So this essentially means that I too have attended this rally without my knowledge. Why has this happened? Now, this reason is being debated by two factions on social media. One group says that those who gave nominations to these people are wrong, while the other is saying that those who voted for them are also at fault. So who is actually at fault?
Speaking at an event in Dunugambehara today, Minister Sajid Premadasa responded to the allegations being levelled at the proposed constitutional amendments.
Those who were sent home by the public are scrambling to come back to power. What they continuously charge is that this government is committing a massive betrayal. They charge that the government is changing the constitution in an ad hoc manner and in turn are steering the country towards danger. Now who is saying this? Tell me, what did the former president do when he was in power? He changed the constitution so he could be in office for an infinite period of time. At a time when they are bringing forth a constitution to create the true unity in the country, the group who worked so hard for the betterment of their own family are saying that we are committing an act of betrayal.
Relatives of a woman who was employed in Saudi Arabia say that she had died mysteriously while in Saudi Arabia.
With eyes filled with tears, these people are awaiting the arrival of their loved one who left them to go overseas and make a better earning for the improvement of their own lives.
This woman, who was residing in Maha Al-Gamwa in Kakirawa, left for Saudi Arabia on November 2014. Though she maintained contact with her family via phone and letters at the initial stage, the family lost contact with her since March this year. She left the children with me, asking me to look after them. She said that she had trouble at the house and that she was not being paid. My mother went overseas because we were poor. She contacted us whenever possible. But after the beginning of March, she didn't contact us anymore. I pursued my education with the money my mother sent. She went overseas to brighten the future of her children. We asked around and called the agency as well, but we did not get any information about her.
We cannot believe what has happened. She was fine. We are suspicious as to what really happened. We ask government officials to do us some justice. When inquired, Deputy Minister of Social Empowerment and Welfare Ranjan Ramanayaka said that an investigation has commenced. The woman in question had died in the month of July. The family did not know until today when a Channel 9 Sirasa looked into this and telecast it. What the ministry did was find fault with the channel. But we are very thankful to Sirasa TV for revealing this information. Let's get together and help the family of the deceased woman. I will pay compensation. Please send someone from her family to Ranjan Ramanayaka's office on the second floor in Sechiripaya at 10 a.m. on Monday morning. We will pay them a compensation from my private funds. 2 people suspected to have shot and killed a person known as Manna Manju in Mount Lavinia recently have been arrested.
Dinesh Sanjay, alias Manna Manju, was murdered on the night of the 21st of July while travelling on a motorbike on St. Sylvester Road in Mount Lavinia by 2 armed motorcyclists. The Divisional Enforcement Team of Kalani arrested 2 suspects in Dehiwala in connection with the incident. Police said the suspects, who are aged 19 and 20, were in possession of a T56 firearm, 31 rounds of ammunition and a bag of ammunition at the time of arrest.
The Presidential Task Force is spearheading a special project to conserve the environment and steer the community towards sustainable development. This national program is titled Punarudaya or Revival.
At present, the entire world is facing the challenge of conserving the environment to protect the natural balance on Earth. Almost all the nations in the world have focused their attention on protecting the environment, which is an essential factor for survival and for the future. In December last year, world leaders converged in Paris, France for the UN Climate Change Conference and adopted a charter named COP21, focusing on climate change and its impact on the global economy. At the conference, President Maithripala Sirisena commented on the measures taken by Sri Lanka in protecting the environment. In October last year, the Punarudaya National Programme for Environmental Conservation was prepared with the view of creating a sustainable environment in Sri Lanka to provide solutions for major environmental issues within a period of 3 years from 2015 to 2018. The programme is the brainchild of President Maithripala Sirisena, who is also the Minister of Environment, and under this programme, all state institutions attached to the environment sector will work in coordination to share resources and expertise and will ensure that the environmental protection process is efficient.
The Gem and Jewellery Authority of Sri Lanka has been directed to rehabilitate the gem mines in the country. The Ministry of Environment is conducting a study on the impact caused by mini hydro plants. The Department of Wildlife is focused on increasing the forest density in catchment areas. The support rendered by the President as the Minister of Environment is insurmountable.
The program will cover all districts in the island, and special attention has also been drawn on waste management.
The Ministry of Provincial Councils and Local Government, together with the Central Environmental Authority, is working on waste management across all districts. Lands for this purpose are being considered. The National Water Supply and Drainage Board and all other institutions are working in coordination in the long term.
Moving on to sports news now. Sri Lanka's Olympic hope Kimiko Rahim will enter the arena in a short while. She will take part in a debut Olympic event at 9:30 p.m. local time. While wishing her the best of luck, let's take a look at her preparation for the event.
17-year-old Kimiko Rahim will take part in the second heat for the 100 meters backstroke event today. She is also the South Asian and the Sri Lankan record holder for this event.
My main goal is to break the 102 barrier and therefore set a new national record. and I've been working really hard for it for the past year. So I just hope to make everybody proud.
And with that, we wrap up tonight's edition of Primetime News. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Arundhati Mudarnayake. Good night.